Hi, and welcome to the Auditory Solutions for Self-Care Padlet. What this is about, it's about when we're thinking about how to get as much compassion satisfaction in our life. We know it's a balance, 50-50 split between the organisation and ourselves. So for the compassion for others and for the compassion for self. So self-care has to be a big driver here. So when I think about what self-care I want to do, I have a natural affinity for a solution based on my learning style. So if I am an auditory person and a kinesthetic person, well, that would be the two ways of doing things. So I listen to things and I learn better, which helps me, and I do things and it helps. So that's where I would either look at this auditory Padlet in combination with the kinesthetic Padlet and find and see what solutions are in there that maybe I haven't thought of that might really support me to think differently about self-care. Look, some of you have already got some great solutions out there. You just have detached from them and you haven't done them for a while. So how could we reignite that? So that's what we're thinking about here. So this is, and the reason we want to know about your self-care is because we know that we have to think about what individual practices can help you feel better and get your compassion satisfaction to a higher level. Because when you have high compassion satisfaction for your work, then you are resistant to burnout. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build up your resistance so that you won't burn out, that you will stay doing the amazing work you do. So when we think about it, and I'm just going to share this slide to you. So with the professional quality of life indicators, it talks about this idea of, well, when we think about individual practices of self-care, we categorize them into behavioral, cognitive, physical, spiritual, and emotional. So you've got that social emotional well-being is what we're looking at here. So in the behavioral component, we think about, the foundational items of self-care. Are you getting enough sleep every night? Now, this is a bit of a hard one because sometimes we're not getting enough sleep because maybe we're not busy enough in a day. Or we're not eating and we're not fueling our body properly, and that inadequate fuel is really leaving us to be unsettled at night, and therefore we can't sleep well. We may do no exercise. So the thing is, like people go, oh, I'm on my feet all day. I can't fit in exercise when I get home. Yeah, but you may have been on your feet all day, but you were doing the hard slog of your job. Exercise doesn't have to be me running on a treadmill for 5 kilometers or anything like that. Exercise is the thing that actually gives me produces hormones back into my system, which is actually positive hormones that actually chemically balance and reduce the stress from my job. So things like exercise we're looking at here it can be anything. It can be, but it has to be some sort of physical engagement that releases all those positive hormones into my system. So things like walking, things like yoga, things like, I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know what it is that floats your boat. Could be horse riding. Really, I'm not sure. Or it could be Pilates. People have got lots of little nuances about how they like to do things. For me, I'll let you know my big thing. I like lifting heavy weights. That makes me feel great. So, but once again, not for everybody. So that's what I want you to think about here is what is the exercise that you're doing to stimulate your chemical mediators of your body to give yourself the end products of metabolism that are positive, that help you sleep better at night? So often we're not sleeping very well anymore in society because we're not doing enough in society. I know, weird, hey? But how can we get our sleep back? Because when we get our sleep back, a lot of other good things happen. So that's a foundational item that's really important to the human body. Um, but you can see this list here. Have a read. How can you do these things? And so look at this list and think, right, well, what am I doing? What am I ticking off this box? And we've left you some checklists as well in here to get you thinking about that. Why is this important? Well, because I want to sort of engage you. I want to get you excited about how can I I have let my self-care go potentially. My individual practices for looking after my wellness have drifted away because I got so focused on doing everything else for everybody else all of the time. So how can I come back to me and not feel guilty? Because I know I've just come across too many people who feel guilty all the time about doing some of these ideas. So that's why so if you're an auditory person and you're stimulated by auditory things and you listen to things and you get it, it's super easy. It makes your life really clear. So that's what I want to focus on here is have a look at this Padlet and what in this Padlet might stimulate you to change one thing. All I want is you to change one thing, because if I can get you to change one thing, then we can keep moving forward. Okay, so have a look. Think about, well, when you're looking at that learning style questionnaire, is that interesting about you? Did you not realize you were auditory focused? And so listen to a few TED Talks about how you can change your thinking and how you can shift yourself to accept change and know that it's a positive thing, it's not a negative thing. And how can I, know that this will help me in the long run? Then listen, 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 listen. There's so many great podcasts out there who can talk about balance of hormones in your bodies, because it doesn't matter, male or female, hormones are motivating us and demotivating us sometimes. So learn more about them. There's positivity. There's Gretchen Rubin. She has a happiness podcast. Look, there is so many podcasts here. And this is just a minute part of it. And if find some really good ones that you think we should add to the podcast, you email us at info@zestigan and we'll add them. This is a community of people who are sharing ideas. And this started from a community of ideas as well. So keep adding. I want to hear more from you. You can also get audiobooks. Audiobooks are awesome. I do love them. I listen to them. I have Audible and I listen to these I listen to some component of an audiobook every day. There's so many great books about how to grow your habits. This is what I want to grow your habit for caring for yourself more. And I want you to buy that horse and get on it. All right? So here we go. Have a look here. See what you think. Stimulate that audio self and get out there and get those individual practice for your social emotional well-being lifted, because your compassion satisfaction will lift and work will not be as hard as it used to be. I promise you. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye.